match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA national champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Cleveland Racquet Club in Cleveland, Ohio, the Sunshine State, bringing you the Cleveland Masters Men's and Women's NRT 2022-23 APTA Tour event. This is the fifth stop on the APTA Tour, sponsored by the APTA membership and APTA national sponsors, Paddle Pro and Fusion. And our local sponsors, Viking, Geraci's Restaurant, Trombold Equipment, Carnegie Investment Council. I'm Matt McClure alongside Randy Markey, bringing you the men's semifinals. Randy, do you want to introduce these fine young players to us?
Sure. We are going to get a great matchup here with the 3 seed of Mitch Granger and Eric West against the 1 seed Philippe Rams and Mike Wagner. This is going to be a terrific matchup here. A lot of athleticism on that court.
You know, speaking of athleticism, that's quite the good-looking headshot of you as well. Did you pose for that recently? Is it a portrait or?
Well, I that's actually from inside a frame I bought at Michael's.
Okay, perfect, good. That's
It's
good.
not really me.
My headshot's not me either, so I just want to make sure we were on the same page there. We want to take a look at the draw, see how these teams got here.
Bingo, bingo. Oh, hold on. Here it comes. There it is.
It looks like Rams and Wagner had a couple of sets early on in which they had to find their groove. 6-2, 6-4 in the first, and then 6-3, 6-1 in the second. That one, actually, we saw a little bit as we rolled up, was a super entertaining match. All 4 guys were having a great time when we rolled in, but I think Rams and Wagner were on full tilt for that one for sure. And then, Granger West on the other side against Nolan Watt is also a great match. Both of those teams are real solid, but Granger West able to pull it out. Mitch Granger, a local Chicago guy, along with me in that market, who is basically playing paddle for 39 hours a day. And it's great to see his improvement track and scale up with the amount of time he's putting in. And then, of course, over there on the far side in the blue vest, we have Rams, who is always entertaining to watch because he has all the shots and can do anything at any time. And you always get the impression when you watch him play that perhaps the biggest struggle he has is, if I have all the options, how do I choose just one?
Philippe Rams with his partner from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, Mike Wagner. To my left, from Lake Forest, Illinois, Mitch Granger.
I wish I could hear it.
With his partner from Cincinnati, Ohio, Eric West. Did we spin yet, guys?
And then Mike Wagner right here in all black with the black hoodie, who is a great player in his own right and also might be one of the nicest people on the planet Earth, to the point where I'm concerned that he's a robot constructed in a government lab to just be polite to people.
Sir.
So it's always a good place to come from.
I think all 4 of these guys are terrific competitors, but they're also really good guys.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun one. All 4 of these guys are both super competitive and incredibly nice, and always nice to see those teams end up in those positions for sure. Not like when you and I played tournaments together like a couple of jerks. just
Yeah,
rolled in making demands.
I want my red M&Ms.
Separated from my other colors. I totally get that. Well, we're gonna get started right here. West is serving. First point. What do you have targeted here as our keys to the match? This, of course, in the main draw being 2 out of 3 sets. Playing, straight up paddle.
Well, I think you've really got to watch Mike Wagner's two-handed backhand. Got to keep the ball out of his range there. Otherwise, really, Wagner and Rams, I think, have a great synergistic approach. Rams is so athletic and has, as you say, every shot in the book. And Mike is a phenomenal role player. He's certainly got all the tools, but he recognizes that with Philippe on his side of the court, he doesn't need to do much other than
30-15.
Be the casual assassin that he is.
Yes, I totally agree with you there. I think you're going to see Rams creep forward into the court a lot. He loves to put pressure on by just sort of drifting up to three-quarters court and then making decisions from there. In fact, I would say he's going to spend, more time inside the baseline than anybody else on the court when he's playing from the back, because he just looks for opportunities to sort of poke and blitz and pull the trigger as his will allows.
Is there a spot on the court that's a safe place against Granger and West that we should be watching Wagner and Rams look for?
Yeah, I know Mitch Granger really well. I don't know West as well, just sort of from having him seen him play once or twice. I do know that Mitch has a lot of tools in his arsenal, and he has a really heavy forehand drive that he can vary the spin on. In fact, you'll see him occasionally, change his grip and go super extreme and really cut through some balls. And his backhand is a little bit more of a placement-oriented shot, but he's very good at it out of the screens. So I guess if you, against this team, have to make a decision, that you'd probably try to make them play backhand screen drives if you were forced to pick something. But ultimately, I think their strength is going to be in their movement, and you'll see both West and Granger just like routinely hit rollers and cutters, for every overhead. So, sort of like what you're seeing now. That when they have the opportunity, they're going to pull the trigger on the offensive shot. No trouble giving up the net if it doesn't go their direction, but it's sort of their bread and butter is that low roller that they're going to try to be hitting. Also, big benefit for them being the righty-lefty combo. I know that's something that comes up occasionally, but they're going to have a lot of options in terms of playing offense for that reason. So we're at deuce here in the first game.
There's that movement you're talking about from Philippe Rams.
Yep. And then Mike is going to go precision. I mean, in comparison to maybe the 3 other guys on the court, he's not going to give you the impression that he's hitting the ball that hard, but he just absolutely, picks small targets when he drives the ball with great intent. And you'll see him, move things around and hit drives from side to side. His backhand screen drive is particularly devastating when he decides he's going to pull the trigger on it. It shows up fast. You're going to start to see the onslaught of rollers and cutters here from Granger West.
There's that athleticism.
Great pick there from
Rams
Wagner
that we were talking about.
Yep.
Deuce.
And ultimately, I mean, I feel like this is essentially what you're seeing right now is essentially going to be the style of the match. Is that I feel that all 4 of these teams are basically going to try to play enough offense where somebody gets tired of playing retriever and decides they're just going to pull the trigger, on a ball to sort of turn the tables. And if I was to guess, I think that it's going to be sort of the success or failure of I think you're going to see points end where somebody misses a drive or misses a volley more than any other
There's
situation.
that precision from Mike we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Not particularly hard, but very precise.
That's that backhand from Wagner that's just, he keeps it low and he leans into it off the screen.
I think Rams would like that one back. We haven't seen Rams get into the groove yet, but it is a thing of beauty when it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely early, and there's still
Again,
the
it's
snow
Rams
coming
Wagner.
down, but the court is, sort of dried off in those same places that was left over from the women's semi that we just streamed. So it's going to be a factor, just sort of hoping not a major one, the moisture on the court. Really smart decision there from Granger to bail out when he sees that his volley did not do what he wanted it to do. Great move from West to get up to that ball and dig it out. You don't get to see people slide on the paddle court enough.
I would have broken my ankle.
At least it implies that you tried. I wouldn't have run at all.
Well, I think one of the things that we're also going to see here with the talent on this court is that you're going to see winning a point is going to take a lot. A lot of athleticism, a lot of speed. They know each other very well, so they're able to read it well in advance what's coming, and what we're going to find is that these points are going to be 5 or 6 winners before a point is over.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the big ones that you will also be looking for is sort of the cat and mouse game that is baiting the drive, right? And so all 4 of these guys like to step up when they've identified that, they're trying to get someone to drive so that they can hurt you with a volley, which is absolutely another level of paddle that goes kind of beyond the club level. I'm ready, I hope he drives it at my face is not usually a thought process that most of us have. Great shot. You get the impression sometimes that Rams, with his options, even on his backswing, hasn't decided what shot he's going to hit yet. Sometimes the way that he prepares it, I feel like he still hasn't decided, and then all of a sudden changes direction or spin or shot style.
And it seems to work 98% of the time, and occasionally it does look like he even confuses himself.
Yep. That's really the key, though. No one can figure out what you're doing if you don't know what you're doing. So.
Mike is proving to have cat-like reflexes at the net.
Yeah, that is
great touch.
One of his go-tos. Same situation there. He wants the drive. He is hoping that when he's prepared and looking for it, that you pull the trigger on a shot that if you can't really lean into it and bring all your power, then it's going to be something he can turn into offense. Be interesting to see here as well if Rams and Wagner change up their strategy a little bit with a righty-lefty combo. Ultimately at this point it certainly doesn't seem like they care too much. Obviously they're still hitting resets down the middle of the court, but I don't think Rams has any problem continuing to attack the ad corner just like that, even though there's a lefty in that space. I think he's sort of indifferent. Great dig. Oh, Mitch.
Look at Mike all over the net.
Right
Wagner is just on top of the net.
Yep.
To your point about wanting the drive, no phase. When I grow up, I want to be as casual as Mike Wagner.
Just a little while.
30 love.
Let's talk a little bit about the underhand serve there that Philippe Rams is delivering into the deuce court, but he's hitting an overhand serve into the ad court. I want to talk a little bit about the strategy there.
Yeah, I think that's a smart one. So I think generally you see this a lot as a righty. I think he's trying to avoid getting the ball to kick, towards Mitch Granger's forehand return. And so I think he's choosing to keep it low instead of put the ball on the outside, of the court and sort of let Mitch move around and drive it off the screen if he hits it hard, or shift and kind of hit the ball on his terms. And then when he's going to the ad side as a righty, it's a little bit easier to get that traditional serve to kick towards the side screen or into the corner. And so I think that's sort of the nature of, natural spin. Nice volley. Good hands as well, yeah.
But again, all over the net, waiting for that tomahawk to come in.
Great touch.
I gotta go fix that. Can I see that other beam go down?
Nice drive there from Granger. Really patient, waiting for that
Head
ball
out.
to just show up on his forehand without having to, jump and lose his balance.
Had both guys off the
Game,
net, out of
Granger West.
position.
Yep.
Very
It's
smart
going to
choice.
be
1-1, first set.
in the first set. So feeling each other out a little bit here. Nothing crazy. Everybody's still kind of getting in their groove with their swings. Nice dig. What you just saw there with West and Granger giving up the net is probably the potential hazard of the righty-lefty combo. Both players looking for backhand volleys, and they're not, they have their forehands in the middle of the court, and so then as a result, a drive that, kind of slips between
Love
them.
15.
Neither of them feel like they should pull the trigger on, and they end up having to let the ball go through kind of down the middle. Just a little deep from that lob off of
Love
Granger's
30.
paddle in the corner.
Love 40.
Ooh, nice
Nice
stretch.
cat.
Game, Rams Wagner. They lead 2 games
That's a
to
tough one. A little bit on the hole, in the hole with a fault, but again, pretty slippery out there. Starting to make some little adjustments. So 2-1, Rams Wagner. We're going to hear real quick from our sponsors at Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment and take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to paddlepro.com.
I'm a big fan of Paddle Pro.
They have bailed me out many a time. Can I get this paddle from you?
15
Sure. Can I have it
left.
tomorrow? Paddle Pro.
Well, and,
Such a great read from West to see Rams start to move around up at the net and decide immediately that he's going to change up his return targets. That's real smart. So this is one that I always feel like is a bit of an advantage from the net with a righty-lefty team, is that you are forcing your opponents to adjust
15 all.
with every time the hitter changes, right? So if you've got righty lefty and those guys are
15,
alternating
30.
overheads, you are constantly having to adjust to the reverse spin. And I just feel like it helps to keep teams a little bit off balance in the backcourt, as just sort of a natural tendency. And I think you see a lot of
30
success
all.
from righty-lefty teams in that regard. Not that people can't get acclimated to it, but it's just a little bit more thinking right off the bat. Great touch.
Good hands.
Advantage.
And
Rams
that, I would say,
Wagner.
is sort of the killer in when the courts are a little bit wet, in these conditions, is that I don't think running down that drop shot is necessarily feasible.
Well, there it is.
Nice move by West.
Interesting to see the Wagner serve. There's nothing fancy about it. He just
agreed.
gets it in.
He just absolutely puts the ball in play and then makes the volley.
And it also helps when you've got a partner who you can count on to be a menace at the net.
Point. Yeah, that's a good point. It's good hands there.
You'll watch Rams change his grip 17 times in a point.
Yeah.
Hit every kind of shot there is to hit.
Yeah. And then still always be prepared for the volley in between shots. Rams really making Granger and West work right now, sort of just not letting them up for air on most of these overheads.
Game. Rams Wagner. They lead 1 serving 3.
Nice comfortable backhand there from Mike. Really smart volley from Granger, trying to go behind Rams, knowing that he's closing into the middle of the court. Great lob.
Wow.
Gosh, that's tough. Just a really good down the line lob. And again, just sort of a minor adjustment when it comes from the righty-lefty team is that you really have to be on point
Love
with
15.
who's hitting overheads, because you get that ball down the middle that's sort of between you. Either player can hit it, and somebody's got to make a decision.
Smart to let that ball go through.
Mhm.
That's a tough one.
Love 30.
Yeah. That one.
Got a little seamer there.
Yeah.
15-30.
Looking at the screen because it came off that edge and sort of dove straight down. He was thinking it was going to come out a little bit, and it just kind of dropped after clipping the seam.
Nice dig.
That's a nice little
15-40.
surprise counterpunch, chop backhand there from Rams out of that deuce side. The prep looked like it could have been anything.
30-40.
You will occasionally see Wagner miss a ball like that, where he's just trying to keep it low in the court, but you won't see him overhit it. It never feels like he just lets it fly in the hopes that that somebody is overpowered by a volley. It's certainly pretty calculated from him all the time. Great movement and nonverbal communication right there from
What a dig
Wes
from
Granger.
Wagner there.
Yeah, what a pick. See Granger getting all the way off the court to let his partner swing before sliding back in to help defend space. Smart.
Good spot.
That's tough, yeah.
That, to your point about that lefty
Wagner.
righty, they caught themselves
Right.
out of position. Mike found the center of the court without
Correct.
coverage.
It's a good pick. Good recover.
That's
good move. Way to close the net down again. And again, you see Wagner just absolutely
Yes.
picking his spot right between them to try to draw some kind of mistake.
Advantage
starting to
Rams
see the
Wagner.
snow fly a little heavier now.
Yep.
See if that
We'll see.
becomes a factor on the court.
Great dig. Yeah.
Deuce.
Short lob. Plenty of spin to get that ball to go crazy off the deck. No time to react. Shot by West. And Granger coming up with a little razzle dazzle.
Advantage West.
They got away with that one. That was a little
Granger
miscommunication
West.
on who was taking the overhead, and Wagner knew that it was an opportunity. He couldn't quite
Rams
convert
Wagner
the drive.
lead
But that's going
3-2.
to take us to 3-2.
First set.
All right. This tournament is brought to you by Fusion, proud partner of the APTA. Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selections for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. We create a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with gear to fuel your brand. All right, Matt, we're back here at the semifinals of the Cleveland Masters.
Oh, sorry, Randy. I was ordering something from Fusion.
The Cleveland Racket Club in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland Racket Club with the distinction of an indoor hard court racket facility in which there is an all-white requirement for clothing. I still can't get over it.
They all look so clean and neat.
I've known about it for several years, and every time I walk in, I'm like,
Love
oh, yeah, this.
15.
It's jarring.
all.
So this is a unique one, and I don't know what the. I'm sure the viewers can check me at home, but it's been rare lately on the live stream to not have any teaching professionals on the court in a semi like this, and I'm pretty sure that we are absent. Oh wow, the corkscrew on that thing! Great dig by Granger. I'm pretty sure we are absent any pros on the court at the moment, which just flat out makes me angry. I don't know about you.
Gives me hope.
I mean, Rams is a corporate tax attorney, and he's also this good at paddle. I mean, you can't have all the things, dude.
And he's that good looking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, just an
great
onslaught
shot.
of spin with the
30-15.
overheads there. Really well defended as well. They just can't do it forever, I guess. Yeah, that last shot right there from Rams is the kind of like direction change where it's just so difficult to read. He sets up, he's going to hit a big roller. You know he's going to hit a big roller. And then all of a sudden it goes to the deuce side instead of the ad side. It's just not the direction that you would have expected.
That caught the line.
Big shout out to Jody Herzog of Fusion Sports dropping by the hut, seeing if we need anything. We appreciate the offer. We're good at the moment, Jody, but it is great to see you.
It's not that great.
Great shot from
there
the
you
Rams
go.
again.
40-15.
Ram-
Granger almost able to track that one down, but just enough into the body where there was no way to dodge it and chase it simultaneously. That's a great lob to set up a transition. Great play. Yep. And that's one a little bit there
40-30.
where I know Rams kind of feels like maybe I should stay and, pick off a ball in transition. Those guys played that one smart. Put it right at his feet. Not a lot of options.
Game, Rams.
All right, so it looks like
Wagner.
there's a little reduction here in the
First set,
snowfall.
2 games serving 4.
Which, as we saw in the last match, turned into much higher quality lobs and sort of was a turning point in that second set. So we'll see if maybe that could also be the case here for Granger West. Granger to serve at 2 serving 4. It's a good pick. Such a casual move forward. Nice pick right there from West. Definitely one of those situations there where you're absolutely hoping a ball does not come back, and then when it does, you're sort of unprepared for the follow-up.
Call stands. 15 all.
15 all here. Serve is a little wide, it looks like. Nice dig.
There you go.
Oh, yep. The hazard of
15,
sort of,
30.
trying to push a volley back in pure defense, especially against Wagner Rams, is going to be that if any time Rams has already started to step forward, he's going to pick off a ball from above the net and just be able to put it down in the court. really puts a lot of pressure on every volley you hit to be perfect. It can't just be in the court. It has to also be low and controlled and have the right direction.
Those are factors I am not in possession of.
That's one too many things.
It's 4 too many things.
Listen, my volley goes in or out. That's the Those are my two options. Great
there's
shot.
great
to
spot.
Transition into the deuce corner,
15-40.
right into the nick. That is on purpose, by the way, in case anybody's watching and you're relatively new to paddle. Any of these.
But he
players
didn't
hitting
call
the
it.
ball into the, yeah, you're right.
He's got to call dink.
He has to call out loud. He has to say doink before it hits, or it doesn't count. It's like calling backboard in horse.
30-40.
Don't look it up. Just a little deep
Deuce.
there. It's good defense there from Granger to convert that screen drive from Wagner.
And he did a nice job getting out of the way as Rams tried to hit him.
Yep. Which is the right shot there as well. I don't
Absolutely.
know if that gets talked about enough, but there is a percentage of time in the world of paddle where the design of your shot is not actually to go into the court.
Advantage, Granger.
The design is to make someone hit a ball. And there are lots of times where they're at the net and you are driving a ball and you're trying to get them to hit a difficult volley, which doesn't matter if the ball's going in or out if you force them to play it.
Great defense from Mike Wagner.
Absolutely.
I would have lost that point 3 times.
You know, he's one of those guys, too, Wagner in particular, that, I mean, he's fast and I mean, he's incredibly quick on the court.
Game.
And what's troublesome is he never looks like
Ranger
he's
West.
trying to be that fast, right? Like, everybody else, when they are sprinting across the court, you can tell that they are working at maximum level. He just kind of goes like, I would like to be over there now, and then blinks there like the Flash.
All right, Rams and Wagner are up a break.
4-3 in the first set. Cleveland Racket Club men's semifinals. Cleveland Masters NRT. 5th tournament.
4
in the
serving
tour.
3. Wagner to serve. Love 15.
Great volley, nice exchange. Oh, wow. And Granger's
Granger.
looking up at that ball in the
15
corner
all.
because that had enough spin on it where it hit the side screen and then hit the back screen and then hit the side screen again. It's good hands there. That's good volley as well. So I would say, if anything here, and this is going to obviously be a little
15,
nitpicky, but it's
30.
worth mentioning. Both West and Granger, when they are going to drive a ball, you can tell with 100% certainty that they are about to drive a ball. Now, that's not to say that they can't hit a great shot and pick the right spot and draw an error, but I don't think that there is a
There's no element of
disguise
surprise.
element, coming out, particularly on the screen drive. Like you can see West playing this corner
15-40.
over here, and he has an amazing screen drive. Don't get me wrong, but as soon as that ball hits the screen, he is winding up with, his only option is to drive at that point. That's a really good ball to pick off and close on. It's a little surprise sneak move there.
Game.
That's good to
Granger
see.
West. West to serve at
Well,
4
they fought
all.
their way back onto being on serve.
Yep, here we go. 4 all.
You know, and it's interesting because they haven't really given us any indication that
Love 15.
Rams and Wagner have not given any indication that they are uncomfortable in any way.
No.
But Granger and West have done
No.
a great job defending, and
Yeah, not at
they've
all. And if
picked their
anything, I
spot.
would say that like this is sort of a dynamic that you see with teams, and sort of what you mentioned earlier when you introduced him, how great a role player Mike Wagner is. And I mean, it's super important that you have that guy, because when you have the talent that Rams
15
does,
all.
he has to have the freedom to swing, but also make some
Correction,
errors, right?
love
you
30.
You can't sustain that level of spin and all the shot selections that he has without also making some mistakes. And so you have to have the high percentage player of Mike Wagner in a combination team like that to keep it at 4 all instead of being 1-6
Yeah, yeah.
15
kind of
30.
situation. So working together really becomes important in that regard. And West Granger have done a great job digging points out and throwing enough at these guys, like that kind of error right there from
30 all.
Wagner is just kind of a sign that these guys are playing really stable paddle. That you see Wagner do a little bit more than he should with a drive, that he's feeling some kind of pressure to get the ball through the court.
We've seen a couple of loose overheads from Rams, which I would expect to see tightened up here. He's just too talented to let that continue to happen.
That did not dribble over the net
Advantage West.
right there. So I think 40-30, I
Yeah,
want to say.
West has an advantage.
I also think it's worth mentioning that Granger and West have absolutely dialed in their overhead targets. They are no longer dumping the occasional ball down the middle to keep it away from Rams, and all of a sudden Wagner gets to hit a forehand drive anywhere he wants. They've definitely gotten a little bit more selective with where they're placing that ball, and at least making him move to the middle, like you're seeing here. Yep. And if you force somebody to move to the angle on their drive, then they have less angle that they can throw back at you. And so what had handcuffed them originally in those first couple games is now slightly less of an issue. It's a good play. Good roller. It's a great shot. Oh, man.
Great read from Mike Wagner.
Knew where that ball was going to end up before it bounced. That's just such a solid point right there
Granger
from
West.
Granger West. They stepped up, they made their volleys, they didn't get too spread out at
They
the
lead
net.
the first set.
At no point were they diving or stretching in order to
4:35.
cover the court. They just played high percentage paddle and made it work.
Yeah, and they got Rams to pull the trigger on a ball that maybe was questionable.
Yeah, maybe it just wasn't
Especially
quite.
when-
Didn't maybe have his feet under him all the way.
And you had, guys all over the net.
Yep. Yep.
Put a little pressure on
One
that
of the most
location.
difficult things to do in the game is to
Rams to serve.
identify the opportunity,
Four
but
serving
still
5.
be willing to pass on it because of the lack of execution. Meaning that, if you didn't take the step to set up for the shot, it's great if on paper, everything worked. But if you didn't actually get your balance and take the steps and set your paddle up before the ball showed up, then you might have to bail and do less than you want to. Oh, great move through the court there from West. Good stretch, didn't overplay the closing volley. Little wide there.
Love 15.
Rams is serving to try to stay in the first set.
It's a
Smart
great
to let
shot
that
from
ball
Granger.
go.
Yep.
But I like the choice Mike made to let that ball go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a smart decision to let Rams just float in the court wherever he wants and then be ready to be the retriever. West has also gotten much more aggressive with his movement in the last couple of games. Like, he is now stepping up and shutting down the net instead of letting any balls come to him, and it's a difference maker for sure. It's just not giving Rams the time that he wants to sort of like that casual float forward, where he'll
30.
pick off balls and sort of half blitz. Smart change up on
15,
a
30.
little bit less pace on the serve. Mitch got a little bit out in front of it, and so it dove quick. That's a great drive from Granger.
15,
See, that's sort of what I'm
40.
talking about there is, you can read him winding up on that really early, but he hits such a high-quality drive that there's still nothing you can do about it. It's not like they didn't see that drive
30,
coming. It's
40.
just that he put enough on the ball where...
And Mike was just inside the service line, didn't have a much chance to
Right.
pick that up off his shoelaces.
Right. Oh, that is absolutely
Dave.
the right play. And just did not quite hit the center of his
First
paddle.
set, Granger West.
So that is going to be the first set
6-4.
to Granger West, 6-4. We're going to bring you a quick read from our sponsors here at Carnegie Investment.
So we want to thank Brent Luce with Carnegie Investment Counsel. With hard work, accountability, responsibility, and imaginative stewardship, Carnegie can help contribute to more prosperous and productive lives for our clients, families, and community.
Also, a quick shout out to our other sponsors. One ball to rule them all. Viking is the one ball consistently chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league play, social events, and weekend outings. Viking is the one ball to rule them all. And of course, the official pizza sponsor of the Cleveland
Masters.
of the Cleveland Masters.
We love that there's an
Racy's
official
restaurant.
pizza.
I mean, it's just one of my favorite things ever. The bottom line
love
is
it.
that every tournament needs to have an official pizza, or I am no longer announcing.
And another thank you to Trombold Equipment, the #1 choice for sales and service of pumping equipment for over 60 years. Without local sponsors like this, these tournaments can't happen. So thank you to all of our local sponsors.
I'm going to call Geraci's and see if they can be the official sponsor of my house.
They're the official sponsor of my house. So
That's what I'm missing in my life is a official pizza sponsorship.
Second set.
At this point.
West to serve.
All right. So, short break here. Nothing's going to change in the weather. Second set. We're going to fire it up immediately.
15 love.
like to see
Just long on the
Rams
lob
and Wagner
return.
tighten some things up
15
here.
all.
Yeah, and they're absolutely very capable of that. But big credit to Granger West for putting enough pressure on them, you know, where they feel like they have to do more on a few shots and, you know, let a couple errors leak in. Ultimately, that's where it comes from. You know, paddle's an interesting one because we can often say things like, oh, that was a loose error there, or you got to not make errors, you know, in this situation. The reality is, like, yes, you can make bad decisions that turn into, you know, losing a point, but the often undervalued element is a forced error, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like making somebody feel so much pressure. Oh, why did you miss that lob? You can put them all in the court. Yeah, well, the other 9 spin overheads that I had to dig out had something to do with that one error that I made.
30.
That consistent pressure can break you down. Oh, that is a tough
30
let
all.
cord that pops over West's paddle. 30 all here
540.
in the first game.
540.
Oh, sorry, 540. Great drive through the middle there. And again, 2 forehand volleys in the center, so neither player really excited about chasing that volley. Smart lobbing from Granger here. Good call on the switch.
Interesting choice for Rams to go right into his forehand.
Yeah, I think I kind of like the decision because he knew that they were in transition, but when players switch in the backcourt efficiently, that they are moving fast enough to be able to track that ball down, and that definitely plays into Granger's strength. First time we've seen West hit a couple of, big backhands like that too.
Game, Rams Wagner. They lead the second set.
All right, Rams and Wagner up a
1-0.
break here in the second
First
set,
set.
up 1-love.
Real early.
4-6.
See if they can turn that into some momentum.
Looks like Lofgren, McNerney have made their way into the final officially, which is going to be tomorrow morning. 6-1, 6-1.
Over Ong and Wheezy.
Yeah, that's a great match. I've seen Ong play a few times, and he definitely is one of those, up and comers where he is getting so good so fast and not letting the same shot beat him 2 times in a row. And it's just neat to see, obviously high level racket skills, but also just sort of falling in love with the game.
And another example of just unbelievable athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great move from West, and that lob clips the sideline. Granger digs it out. Oh,
wow.
Granger making a
Lob
big move
30.
as that ball shoots out of the nick down the side screen, and just keeping his balance and composure to push that ball back cross court. Nice shot. That is really smooth transition.
Good patient play here from both sides.
Yeah, nobody at this point doing, sort of too much with the ball. Still safe targets at the net. That's a particularly good reset overhead there from West, really placing that ball well to the center of the screen. Great overheads here from West. Just continuing to put the pressure on, starting to see Rams kind of dodge out of the way. Oh, good ball there from Wagner.
15-30.
That becomes sort of the hazard in that situation, right? Is that when you need to swing the ball back over, you got to keep in mind that Wagner loves his backhand, and if you don't do enough with that shot, he can stretch you out immediately.
Yeah, that's my reference earlier in the match of him as the assassin.
Right. The silent assassin.
Yeah. all over the net.
Yeah.
Just unlucky.
15-40.
Looks like the court's holding up pretty well.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, better than it did during the women's semis in the previous match.
30-40.
For sure. Also got to respect the decision here from Granger West to put their weapons on the outside edges of the court, you know, as a righty-lefty combo. I think a lot of conventional teaching would be to put your forehands in the middle, but they've decided that they can do more damage when they're hitting the ball from the outside, which I do think is true. That is a great strategy when you have options like that. What a great dig from Granger. And he got that to come down as well. Stab from Rams can just be so deadly when he gets on top of the net. Really good transition. West is going to go to work.
That's a
great point.
great
just a little
shot.
wide.
Deuce.
All right, Rams has dug himself back to deuce here.
Advantage
So West
Rams.
come over early, wanting that backhand screen drive.
But you have to believe that Mike's move to close the net had
Absolutely.
something to do with that.
If he steps up that early before the ball is even struck, you know, and then West tries to make the drive absolutely perfect and, you know, keep everything low, and then it clips the tape. I really enjoy Rams' backhand volley, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah.
we've talked about that, but that is like as pure tennis volley form as it could possibly look. And I know that that's not like a, you know, you could just kind of tell the way that his racket skills developed when he moves forward on that backhand volley with his left arm, you know, fully separated from.
Yeah, it's not a traditional
of it.
paddle volley, is it?
Not necessarily, but I mean, you know, when you're reading the ball early and you have great racket skills, you're going to default to, you know, your sort of the form that you is your default position, and for him that works. There's plenty of ways to manufacture shots in the world of paddle.
Game.
He certainly has them
Wagner
all.
lead 2-0.
Right.
Granger to serve. 0-2.
Hoping the umpire has an electric blanket going at the moment up in the chair.
Yeah, it's a tough night to be an umpire.
Nope, just a little wide.
15 love.
Great return from Wagner.
Rams did a beautiful job
15
closing
all.
the net there.
Yep. Yep. Big difference when he closes forward and he can hit the ball from above the level of the net, right? And then he has all the options and, you know, what he wants to do with his target and have a little bit of downward angle. Nice pick. Good hands. Oh, and just such a great move there from Rams to close in,
15-30.
making Granger feel like he has to carve a sharp drop shot angle with a volley from there is a difficult position.
Great hands there.
Yep. Such a unique element there where, everybody's playing reflex volleys and Rams just looks so comfortable in the situation, even though on paper he should
15-40.
absolutely be concerned
Terrified.
about the situation. Yeah, he's just going to go, fine. Well,
All right, Rams
you hit
and
it at my feet,
Wagner.
I'll let it go off the screen.
Rams and Wagner have a few break points here to go up 3-love here in the second set.
First or maybe second drive that I've seen Wagner miss long.
Yeah. It's always that fourth drive that gets me, Matt.
That's the one? Yeah, the first three are usually fine. It's that fourth one that becomes ill-advised.
If I hit 3 in a row, then I think I can't miss, and
It's just a great change-up in target right there from Mike Wagner.
Game,
Just been
Rams,
pummeling the middle of the
Wagner.
court up until then with his drive and then outside edge.
They lead the second
Smart.
set 3-0
And again, not blistering pace,
And
just
lost the
very
first
well
set.
placed.
Nope, yeah.
4-6.
I also think I wouldn't be good at it.
All right, well, Rams and Wagner certainly seem to be feeling like they're in the driver's seat here in the second set.
Let's see if they can keep this momentum going.
I submit that they can.
3-0.
Well, there you go again, Matt. You're gonna let's see if the curse.
Let's just see what happens.
Your track record is not very good today.
You're right. If Granger West win this game in 14 shots, then we know that it's true, and I have to start using my powers for good instead of evil.
So what's the adjustment that Rams and Wagner have made that have given the momentum shift that they're experiencing right now?
I think it's weird to say, but it certainly feels like they're doing less with the ball. And I know that I'm saying that as Rams is hitting, yet another cut overhead.
15
But in
love.
that first set, they had way more points kind of like leak off their paddle from positions of strength, right? Where they were up at the net and closing and then missing a volley wide or hitting an overhead with too much spin and it was landing long. And it certainly seems like they have sort of tightened up their targets, maybe centered their targets a little bit, and are going for a little bit less on a lot of these shots.
Well, that's just a great point to make for most of us club level players. Is, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, I mean, I know that all of these guys, that's a great play as well. I know that all of these guys can absolutely be doing more
30
with the
love.
ball if they wanted to. And the reality is, how much would their success rate drop, and it would no longer be worth it. I always joked that the impressive part about racket sports, paddle in particular, is that somebody hits an incredible shot, and you're like, wow, they hit that super hard. The reality was they had way more in the tank than what they chose to use. So,
Yeah.
Us being like, wow, that's the hardest ball I've ever seen hit, and yeah, that was still only 60% of someone's total power, because if they were swinging as hard as they could, there's no chance it would be in the court. Which goes against my basic strategy of when you need time to think, hit a reset overhead to the parking lot. Give yourself a minute. See if you and your partner can get it together.
Well, a couple of loose points there from
the high jumping
Granger and
backhand
West.
overhead is definitely
Game.
not the shot that
Rams,
Granger
Wagner, new ball.
wanted to play there.
All right, so here we go. Rams Wagner now up 4-love in the second set.
1-3.
Your curse did not strike.
That's good to know because I wouldn't want to hold too much power.
West
Yeah,
to
you can't be
serve.
trusted.
1-3 in the second set, and they lead the first set 6-4. 0-4, correction.
Got a nice crowd formed here at the Cleveland Racket Club to watch some phenomenal talent here.
Standing room only. It's official. You cannot come in the HUD unless you are willing to pack in like a sardine.
Great
Great
shot.
shot from Rams to use the outside edge of the court in that situation.
We're seeing a great example right now of what you were just talking about with less being more.
Yeah.
They're just picking smart targets.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually interesting because it feels like it's forcing Granger and West to work a little harder. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but it seems like they, are spending more time in survival mode, if that makes sense, and just trying to stay in points rather than, dictating
Love
play.
15.
And that can kind of be the effect of, consistency is its own version of offense. It doesn't get talked about enough, but if you're just willing to step in there and hit, sort of routine shots and not miss any balls,
Yeah,
make them
make them play another shot.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't say that Granger and West have gotten itchy trigger fingers. We're not
No.
seeing them go too fast too soon.
No, you're just sort of seeing maybe a minor shift, just like a little drop in energy as they get into the second set. And I think it's most noticeable, like you're starting to see, some more drives, clip the tape and go long, or maybe make a sort of late decision on a particular ball here and there.
Smart choice there.
Wagner's going to hit and recover there. Nice overhead.
15 all.
West also really does have a lot of options on his overhead. I mean, it's got to be at least slightly more difficult that he's left-handed, just a bit. But he does he can do a lot of different things. Great move by West to get on top of the net, sensing that drive coming early. Same thing again there. Good hands. So stable.
Well, and Matt, tell us a little bit about, these drives aren't necessarily intended to win a point.
Yeah.
What are they setting up?
15.
True.
30.
A lot of it, again, that ball is just your tool for moving somebody around the court. So occasionally the drive is just designed to get somebody to step forward and change their position. I always like to say that everybody can hit that one shot over and over again when they know that it's coming. So if you go out there and you just lob to me, I get to stand behind the service line and do whatever I want with every overhead because there's no penalty. I already know what the deal is. Same thing. If I was to go out there and just drive the ball at you and never hit a lob, you could stand right on top of the net and you would beat me 9 out of 10 times by just being in the right position. So the key is for these guys to be, forcing people to change positions so that they can't become totally comfortable and complacent in a single spot. Moving targets, deciding,
There's
to
Ram's
pick and
favorite.
choose. That's
That's
good
Ram's favorite
overhead
shot
right
right
there.
there. That
15-40.
slash from the center of the court over to the deuce corner. Very effective.
This is also weird to say, but at the end of the first set, Granger and West, ended up taking it. major difference was that they actually froze out Wagner for the majority of points and just sort of made Rams hit a million balls. And I would guess that that's a tactical decision in the idea that, like, maybe Rams is going to give us more errors than Wagner, which is, possibly true. Or maybe when he creeps forward in the court, we can beat him if we just keep the ball on his side of the court, so he has to hit every ball. But they've kind of gone back to swinging the ball around a little bit, and it doesn't seem to have helped.
Well, I think Rams has stayed put a little more, too. He's
Agreed.
not given them the options that he was
yeah.
giving them before.
Yeah, he might have, the end of that first set, you're right, might have been a little bit too much pressing, and trying to manufacture stuff, and if that doesn't go your way.
Great transition
Game,
there.
Rams Wagner.
Rams and Wagner are now up
They lead
5-love
the
in the second set.
5-0. First set
I like their chances,
went to
man.
Granger and West.
In this set?
6-4.
I don't know what the statistics say, but
I mean,
it's not impossible.
I mean, I've lost this set from this position before, so let me tell you from personal experience, it is doable. It turns out you can be up 5-0, 30 love, and still lose.
I wrote the book on that one. This is when my shoulders go into my ears because I know I'm supposed to win.
You already put it in your bag and started thinking about that first beer you were going to have in the hut. All right. So at this point, you have to be thinking, if you're Granger West, that this is much more about, kind of getting your bearings
Up
again.
15.
And, if you can get a couple of games, that's great. But really, to be able to go into the third set not feeling like, you were totally out of sorts.
Yeah.
So this becomes super important, from a perspective here of obviously
Love 30.
they're not tanking or giving away a set, but from a strategic standpoint, they are going to try to put together some really solid points here so that they can feel kind of comfortable about going into the third. But like I said, you can also come back. Apparently against me.
You can. I can't.
It's a great backhand there from West. Good ball, good transition. It's just such a nice compact backhand from Wagner, which makes it even tougher to read as well. It shows up quick, but a part of it is because he's sort of holding his paddle at his hip, and then all of a sudden the ball is come right at your face.
Kind of a Johan-like
so
backswing.
he kind of holds it for a longer period of time, and then when he pulls the trigger, the ball just kind of shows up. It's kind of like a visual effect, sort of. It's an illusion.
Look how casual he is. My God. That's all you got?
I love that. That's such a great play. That's not even a bad decision there from West to close in. It just was a situation where Rams was too good, too comfortable, able to control the volley even under pressure. Just a hair deep on that one.
30 all.
It's a great dig.
Really seeing some solid overhead range from West here on this one. Just mixing up a lot of different spins and a lot of different shots. I think that one probably floated on him a little bit more than
Rams.
he wanted it to. I think he was trying to go thinner and get it to spin backwards, but that was a lot of options.
There's another example of the read, just the telegraphing of the drive. Rams closed that net.
Yep.
No phase.
Yeah, forcing it
Game
a little bit
set.
there. Ready to
Rams
be done
Wagner
with this set.
win the second set.
Granger West took the first set 6-4. Rams Wagner take the second set 6-0. And we are going into a third here in the men's semifinals from Cleveland Racket Club
Split set.
here in beautiful historic Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Cleveland Masters men's and women's NRT. You paid for the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge.
All right, Matt. What do you think we're going to see here?
So this is a big one, actually. I think that if you're sitting where Granger West are right now, after that first set, being able to kind of squeak out that first set, incredibly
I
close.
need a blank paper from Karen.
I'm sorry, I had to pass Rams's bag. I'm saying if you're Granger West in this situation, after sort of the wheels came off in the second one, and you went feeling like you were playing as tight, you sort of have to make that commitment to playing at least a few points in which you feel confident about, just like stability. So this is a time to, lob high and aim directly at the tee so that you can miss in 12 feet in any direction and the ball is still in play, and then start to look for some opportunities to counterpunch and kind of build from there, which I actually think is what they did so well in the first set, right? It was really their ability to counterpunch. They were dictating play a little bit less and sort of taking advantage of situations a little bit more. And I think that was the change in the second.
Rams and Wagner did that in the second set.
Absolutely. And I think that ultimately, as we talked about, Rams and Wagner kind of slowed it down and gave them less to work with. And as a result, having to manufacture the shots from the other side was a little bit tougher for Granger and West to do. So it's a tough one. I mean, you can't wait too long. You can't just stomp on the gas or your tires will spin. But if they can sort of ease their way back into a position of confidence and feel like they're making good decisions, that's what it all comes down to.
I'm great.
Reloading the umpire with fresh paddle balls. And a new piece of paper for the clipboard. We're going to take a little breather here, it looks like, in between sets, so everybody can get super comfortable. Possible that some of the players are dealing with heat stroke. This is a smart strategy here from Granger West to hit the reset button.
So let's talk a little bit about the 2022-2023 APTA Tour, Matt. The tour is comprised of 13 tournaments, 12 of which are live streamed. Of the 13 tournaments, there are 4 Grand Prix. The Chicago Charities, which was last weekend, November 4th through 6th. Detroit coming up December 10th through 12th. And then we go into January in the Boston Open, January 28th and 29th.
The new year.
One of my favorite tournaments, by the way.
Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston is a great tournament. Well run, super fun. Absolutely.
And then Short Hills in February, the 11th and 12th. And then Nationals will be held at the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, the weekend of March 10th. Glenview is another great venue.
Full circle back to Glen. All roads lead to Glenview Club, apparently.
We just came from there, right?
Yep.
Back at Charities last weekend. And then at the end of the season, the APTA Cup will be awarded, which includes a $40,000 prize purse to the top 4 players in the men's and women's standings based on the APTA Tour results. And each player's best 6 results will count toward the APTA Cup. All right,
Awesome.
back in action.
Sorry, I didn't realize the purse was that big. I should have been playing tournaments this entire time. I'm sure I can still catch up.
And here we are in the 3rd set, men's semifinals, Cleveland Masters in Cleveland, Ohio, the Cleveland Racket Club. Philippe Rams and Mike Wagner against.
Love 15.
Sorry, I'm being distracted.
Little breather for all
Against
4
Granger and
players
West.
in between.
15
Wardrobe
all.
change. Everybody except Mike Wagner, who doesn't sweat because he's not a real human. So I hate to say it because I know this isn't necessarily their style, but it will greatly benefit Granger West if they do the same thing that Wagner Rams did in the last set and do less. I know it would be difficult for them just because of, it's sort of like the style that they've adopted, and clearly it got them the first set, but this could absolutely be one of those things where it's anybody's ball game if everybody chills out a little bit and goes into sort of error management mode. You can't do it entirely because it will allow a team to, you don't want to be have them step up and attack you either. But it, so you see West ramping up the speed on his overhead. It's a nice sort of disguised backhand push drive from Rams there. Yeah, that is such a quick
15-30.
turn, right? To be on offense like that, to hit a ball directly into the corner and have it shoot down the side of the nick, and then all of a sudden, Wagner's there and drives the ball right. He digs the ball out, and you still want to be on offense, and all of a sudden you're swinging at something that you shouldn't because the perception is that you were in control. It's a good look, opportunity there from Wagner. Put it, unfortunately, a little bit down in the tape, but definitely one of the shots that he is looking for. And you don't get to see that very often from Mike Wagner. I feel kind of privileged to have witnessed 2 back-to-back drive errors. That is almost unheard of.
Rare occurrence.
In the 3rd.
All right, Granger West come out swinging. Take the first game in the 3rd set.
Oh, like that?
So important for them at that point to sort of stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Sort of the onslaught that they were dealing with in the
6 straight
that second
games.
set. Yeah.
See if Rams can let them know how cute he thinks that is and put it away.
Rams to serve.
Good for
little
you.
Thought bubble. Yeah. Oh, you guys are adorable. Just a little wide. I actually love that play, but that's the pressure that Rams puts on you with his movement at the net. Is West feels like he has to aim for a line instead of just hit the ball straight ahead. I don't even think Rams was moving on that one. He just was sort of generally concerned. It's a good place that I live my life in as well. General concern.
It's a constant state
Yeah,
of general concern.
it's fine. It helps you cut off problems before they really develop.
Love.
Well, Matt, the party has begun.
Well, it's paddle weekend here in Cleveland, so the party's been going for quite some time.
Cheers.
That's tough.
Love.
All right, well, so we got a little 40 love situation here. That is absolutely the right shot. It actually came out shorter than West thought, which was sort of weird. He was expecting it to, sort of drift up right on top of his head, and the ball kind of died, and he ended up leaning.
Granger serves one,
on that
serving one.
Also, Rams has one of the best jumping waterfalls I've ever seen.
They can't teach that.
No. No, that's just all natural talent. Really great overhead there from Granger that hit the side screen and dropped straight down in the corner. It's sort of tough to find that angle from where he was standing, too. All right, so a very clear strategy change here from Granger West is this is the first time in the entire match that they have sort of just stayed on their sides in position, and Granger has kind of run the offense with his overhead. Previous to this, we've seen West shift back to the tee and Granger move up to the net and have him hit everything. So this is this bodes well for Granger West, and just in terms of changing it up and making them play something different.
15.
Of course, I said it out loud, so they're going to lose that point. But you guys get the idea, all you viewers at home. This is honestly something that Mike Wagner has not done for this entire match.
Have to dig out.
They have not let him hit 20 balls in a row
Yeah.
the entire time. They have been
15,
really
30.
focused on engaging Rams, and I just assume that they feel like they might get a few more errors out of him, or maybe he'll press a little bit with a blitz, but he is no longer taking the bait at this point. Sneaky ball. Again, moved forward, but he didn't do too much or overcommit. That's a good pick by Granger.
But look at this positioning from Mike Wagner
Yep.
and Philippe Rams, right?
Yep. Well, particularly from
Really
Mike Wagner,
smart.
because Philippe is going to hit any shot he wants, and Mike is going to back him up. So he's going to be wherever he needs to in order to track down the occasional ball that slips through. A little long.
15, 40.
So 15-40 here. Ranger serving.
30, 40.
just got caught stretching a little bit as he was shifting to the middle of the court to kind of be in his go-to spot, tracking balls down. And big credit to both teams for making a whole bunch of adjustments as from a serving side. You can see there West kind of jumping around, maybe faking that he's going to move across the court or picking different positions. It really is one of those things where you can't let anybody get super comfortable. Great pick by Mike Wagner out of the nick, 2 in a row. Good for him. A little deep. But, I always used to say that it's like, no matter what you do, if you walk out there, please don't let anyone beat you with their favorite shot. Right? Whatever their favorite shot is, it's okay for them to hit it or manufacture it or find a way to convert it, but to just, let somebody hit a return cross court as hard as they can 90 times in a row and then walk off the court being like, we lost. We just couldn't deal with that shot. Well, it's unfortunate, but...
Change the look.
Yeah. I've tried nothing, and I'm all out of ideas.
These guys had done a nice job fighting their way out to have an ad. Now they're back to deuce.
Yep.
Let's see if they can fight this off.
Ooh, just a little wide off the
Advantage, Granger West.
Oh,
great spot. Hit him.
Great volley. Caught him
Granger
a little
West.
bit. Trying to let that ball drift between him.
Granger West
Sort of like, hop
leads
over it and let it
2-1
bounce
in the
over
third.
between his legs and try to take it off the screen, and he couldn't quite get his knee out of the leg. All right, so Granger West up 2-1 here in the second set. I'm sorry, in the third set. We already played 2 sets. Those are the rules.
That cord winner.
Love 15.
That was an absolute
15
bomb
all.
down the middle of the court from West, knowing that because Rams has been picking off every volley, he was hoping that he could just overpower him by rocking one. Great shot from Granger in that deep corner. Good transition here from both teams. Yeah.
Oh,
Such a
would
smart
like that
move
back.
from Granger. You see him bail so
15-30.
early that Rams actually changed his mind a couple times about what he should do. He thought, maybe I should hit this real hard at West, and then he decided at the last second he was going to try to roll it in, and then too much thinking, not enough execution.
yeah, sometimes taking that target away from him
Absolutely.
changes the
Yep.
mindset.
Sort of goes back to that idea of don't let somebody beat you with their favorite shot. Well, if they love to drive and for you to miss volleys, then stop standing there. Those are the rules. You do not have to stand there. What a great play!
Oh,
That
boy.
is just absolutely nuts. Take a ball that's shooting that fast out of the
15-40.
corner and drive it with a forehand from the opposite side of the court.
There's an example of what you were talking about with,
Yeah.
you're hitting the same shot over and over again. It's not like he's surprising Mike with where that ball's going to go,
Right.
and he overhit it.
Yep. And
30-40.
unfortunately, it seems like, that's probably putting them in more trouble than they're worth when West is trying to attack that deuce side. He obviously, as a lefty, he's getting great spin out of it, but you're still dealing with somebody's forehand. And I don't think any of these guys on the court are particularly uncomfortable with their forehand side. So there may be a point of diminishing returns there.
Yeah, if you're going to hit that shot, you got to try to catch the side screen, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. dig. Smart little transition, and then West and Granger are going to switch in the backcourt. See, I'm loving it when they're able to find that opportunity. I mean, it is absolutely changing all the looks when they switch in the backcourt like that. They've done that a few times where they've been able to immediately build drives. Oh, that is thin. Look at that. That is about as good as a cutter as you will ever see.
That is a highlight reel right there.
Barely clearing the net and then immediately spinning backwards into the net. It's a tough shot. Nice dig. Solid point,
Love
tough.
15.
What a great move by
Yeah, that's
Philly.
a nice sneaky play there by West as well to decide to stay back and then drive off the deck like that. He did force him to come up with a volley, which allowed Mitch Granger to get out of trouble from up at the net. It's just too much spin right at the body, where you can't quite get out of the way, and then the ball reacts off your paddle as you're playing it off your chest. As a tough position to get caught in. That was a good ball. Good ball into the corner there.
15-30.
Ball was wide.
Yep, tough.
30
Going for the
all.
paddle ace on that serve.
Well, he had one in the last game. He served,
That's right.
so.
That's right. The rarely seen paddle ace. That's a tough dig. Good shot. Good hands. You step up from West to identify that situation early. There you go. That's the speed I think that those guys should be working that shot. That's tough. Trying a little too hard to change direction and
Advantage,
keep the ball
Rams,
away from
Wagner.
Wagner's strike zone. End up clipping the tape. That's a great volley. That was a well-disguised
Deuce.
drive right there from West, by the way. That was the shortest backswing he's taken in a while. Sort of showed up without. Same thing. So just a little pressing now
Advantage
from
West.
Rams. You know, a
Rams.
couple of times here and there, and all of a sudden it's a game point opportunity here for Granger West. That's
Smart
tough,
play from Mike Wagner.
The
Deuce.
volley to go right at Granger's body while he's retreating. Not a lot you can do there.
Mike's done a nice job protecting that neck.
Yep. Yep. It also looks like Granger West have started to do a little bit better job kind of floating in and out of their offensive positions at the net. You know, they're not, it doesn't seem like they're overly dedicated to having one particular setup, and as a righty-lefty combo, that's kind of where you have to be. You can't overcommit to sort of traditional roles of one person hitting most of the overheads and the other one, you know, just hitting, looking to protect volleys. You sort of have to swing in and out of those positions.
But again, you see Granger getting off the court, getting out of his way,
Yep.
letting him hit his shot.
And, I mean, that's been pretty devastating as well, especially Wagner targeting that particular shot where when he gets the chance to drive, he is going right between Granger and West, and they're, again, not wanting to flip to that forehand volley, so they're sort of letting that ball drift between them and having to give up the net. It's a good spot.
You know, it's interesting. You were seeing Rams go back to the style of play that we saw in the first set, and I'm not sure it's the right decision.
Necessarily paying off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plus, don't you kind of feel like your success in a situation like that was maybe a late decision there from West?
Rams Wagner.
But don't you kind of feel like that his style of play is so built on, you know, sort of a combination of confidence and intimidation that, you know, if that makes sense, like that it's just adding some pressure to kind of casually moving into the court that way, and just a style of play that
It's definitely his comfort zone.
Gonna throw a lot of players off. I mean, it just will. You'll just, you know. And we saw it last weekend in Chicago as well, where, you know, he would creep into three-quarters court, and then somebody would be like, he's out of position, and then they would hit an overhead too hard at him, and he would let the ball come all the way out and drive it off the screen, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. You know, sort of baiting a lot of different choices from your opponents. Not all of them good. Unless you're the one making them, in which case they're great choices. I back you 110%.
Rams to serve, 2 serving 3.
I appreciate that. All right, we're back on serve. Philippe Rams to serve.
Great dig from Granger.
Nice job finding Rams off the net. There it is.
That is a tough ball. That went in low and came
15
out
love.
low. That is a laser beam from Granger.
15
Good time for him
all.
to step to the middle and take that shot away. He read it real early.
And again, catching the player off the net in no man's land.
Yeah.
Tough volley.
Yeah, just so important to, at all levels, you know, sort of play the percentages for success, you know. need to be. You need to be finding the person who is not standing directly on top of the net in order to have
30-15.
success with the drive. These are great digs from Granger West right now.
That was just
40,
too tough.
15.
Yep, just the one that absolutely had all that spin in the corner. But West was really working hard during that sequence, and he did a great job up until that last ball with all that extra spin on it. There's another one. Great dig. Nice. Time to recover. He did. Oh, that is
So good.
Rams
dirty
Wagner.
volley.
I'm not sure that was intentional,
That
but
doesn't matter. I mean,
quick apology from Rams.
when you win the battle of positioning, it's not about hitting the perfect shot. He read it. He stepped to the right spot. He put his paddle out. It sort of didn't matter after that.
Granger to serve.
I suspect a similar result if he had hit the shot perfectly as he had intended.
Point might still be going on. Oh,
15 love.
Smart here from Granger West to maybe let a few returns go through and play the transition game a little bit, not put yourself in a position where you can get beat right off that opening salvo of shots, especially if Rams is going to continue to close
Sorry.
like that. Great drive. Yeah, good volley.
Wow.
Great defensive play here from Granger West. Nice dig again. Get there.
There it
That
is.
is just
That's-
too good.
that's the shot Rams has been waiting for all day.
15
Drop
all.
that low, have that opportunity to put that much spin on the ball. It's just going to drop straight off the back screen. Rats.
15-30.
Just the opposite side. I like it though. Good body language from West. You know, these guys are all in it. 3-all in the third set. Semis. Good drive. Yep, smart.
Smart for
Wagner
Granger and
just
West
so
to just stay
casual
back.
to, allow it to go through and just knows that he sort of wants them to try to sneak in behind that ball so he can put them in trouble. He did not take the bait. Yep. Good dig. Oh, that's a tough conversion on the backhand drive from West.
Great hands.
Nice. Good movement. What a dig! Oh, what a great
30
point.
all.
That fantastic stretch from West. And he's talented. Any relation to Kanye, you think? Or- No? Okay. No, maybe not. I don't know.
I'm going to let that one go.
That's too,
Advantage
soon.
Granger.
I guess. All right, well, a game point opportunity here for Granger West. in the always important and critical 7th game. Good move. Oh, Mitch is going to want that one back. He is not going to be excited about that as an opportunity for game point. Mitch, when you're watching this tomorrow, listen, I believed in you. It wasn't, but it definitely was one of those things where, maybe sort of a tough situation.
All right, we're back to deuce. Wow,
that
the
is
no look.
Such a great move.
Advantage Rams Wagner.
And all Rams did there was identify that they were switching in the middle of their transition because they're, obviously righty-lefty is trying to get on the correct sides of the court, and he saw that and just made his move and said, well, hey, look, they're both going to get stuck in the middle for one shot.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that just barely got over the net.
Rams Wagner.
Paddle gods are shining on
Rams
Philippe
Wagner
Rams.
leads
Yeah, that was
4-3
tough.
in the third
Not
set.
really a lot Granger could have done with that shot. I mean, he could have hit it straight up in the air and bailed and hoped that the trajectory took it over the net, but man, that's tough.
We miss.
Yep, that is a nice aggressive move there.
We're
Out the
seeing
ball.
an incredible display of athleticism here tonight. This is really good paddle. Smart play by both teams.
Yeah, this is always fun to watch. This is where these matches go the distance. Especially when, all 4 players on the court are able to sustain it like this, The average
ball,
paddle
gentlemen.
match has some flashes of brilliance where everybody's super excited about it, but it's a different level, on the tour events when it's, every point sort of has that level to it.
All right, Mike Wagner serving at 4-3 in the third.
That is a nightmare scenario. Bounces short, the ball is rising.
50
Rams is
lob.
in a full windup, and your only option is just to hope that it spins and gets to the side screen.
Yeah, close your eyes and hope.
Yeah.
30 lob.
Yeah, I've been told that hope isn't a strategy for success, but a lot of times it's all I have. Little wide.
30,
Matt,
50.
what you lack in talent, you make up for in attitude. So we all appreciate that.
Thank you. What you lack in talent, you make up for in lack of talent. oh, I know. Let's get hands. Good overheads. I don't think that Wagner is troubled by that ball in the slightest.
No,
You know
given
what
the
I mean?
fact
It's
that he's
such a great shot.
set up
I know
for the
it's
Albuquerque.
It's spinning, a crazy amount, but I I just don't get the impression that Mike, when he sees the undercut of West's shot like that, that he's like, I wonder where this is going to go.
No.
he's over there.
What was your first clue?
He's over there before that ball bounces.
Oh.
All right, so an opportunity
Advantage,
here
Granger
for
West.
Granger West to get their game back, put us back on serve, if at all possible.
I've got that shot.
I think West. I think that it's actually what he's doing is an intelligent play. I just think Rams is reading it too early. You know, he knows that he's trying to get in front of the ball, so he's saying if I, really put some extra power on this, then at least I'll, have a chance at him screwing up the volley. But both times that he's done it, Rams has kind of just been like, that's a big swing, I'm going to get out of the way. What a great pickup off that volley. Oh.
What a
nice
great
dig.
day.
West was all over that one.
Good leave by Rams.
Yep. And Granger's able to come up with that counterpunch drive to take the net.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You got 6 shots that should have ended the point, and we're here. We're still playing.
Oh, great volley by Granger. Again. Uh-oh. He's there. Good read. That is so tough.
Filthy. Absolutely filthy.
All 4 players.
Advantage, Rams Wagner.
Amin Kaduri liked that one. We're pleased to have APTA President Amin Kaduri here in town to watch this tournament.
He spends a lot less time on Twitter than some other presidents. I've noticed.
And we just lost half of our viewing audience.
No, I just mean like, as a president, the CEO of the APTA, he could absolutely have the social media following, that he chooses.
Advantage, Granger West.
I feel like West is ramping up his overhead as we get deeper into this third set. I mean, he was putting tons of spin on it before, and now I'm starting to feel like he's taking even bigger cuts in a lot of ways. That's a smart stay to hold his ground there. There's that ball between them. That is the potential problem. I mean, in terms of the, obviously we've played a lot of really close games and a lot of really tight points, but if there's one thing that you can see with Granger West at the net, that would kind of be the one, right? Is that they
Advantage, Granger
let
West.
more balls go through between them in that capacity. Again, just the nature of a righty-lefty combo than Rams and Wagner have.
Granger West.
For the whole match.
West to serve.
Mike would like to have that serve back.
4-all. Third
So
set.
here we are at 4-all.
4 apiece.
Tight third set. Anybody's match. Matt, what are you seeing right now that you like?
I'm getting the impression from
15 love.
Rams in particular that he would like to step up and end this match, obviously in a positive way, but But also it seems to have the same thing, sort of let a few more errors, kind of leak in as he is kind of trying to close the door. And I honestly feel like we're sort of back to where we were in the first set, where Granger West it's kind of in survival mode, and it was going to their benefit. It was kind of like they were just staying alive in points, and then all of a sudden finding an opportunity, and they were converting it. And again, that second set, Rams and Wagner sort of slowed everything down very much to their benefit.
30 love.
4-all in the third set is a tough time to control all your adrenaline, though. Oh, that is a great overhead from West.
40
One could
love.
say it's potentially a taste of your own medicine, but it's really just a well-placed shot. Heavy spin, lands deep, nobody can get out of the way.
Game, Granger West. Granger West leads 5-4 in the third.
Granger West. It's important to note here that this match could last another 45 seconds or another 2 hours.
Yeah.
God, I love paddle.
All right. Philippe Rams serving to stay in the match.
All right, here we go. Focus up time. That is such a
Brilliant.
Love 15.
well-placed drive from Granger.
He's dialed in.
Yep.
Love 30.
He can taste it. Look at his body language. He is ready.
He absolutely wants the ball. Like the decision, smart. I'm going to play this point and not try not to overplay this point.
Oh, what a get!
He's out of there. He's back in action. Great play. Now everybody chill out. Oh.
Boy, you know,
was
they
just
earned
trying
that point.
to, man, I mean, I got to tell you, for where they're at in
Here we are.
a triple match point, they certainly deserve to be where they're at.
There it
That
is.
a rough end to a long three-setter. What a great match from all
Granger West.
4 players. It's fantastic.
6-4, 0-6,
6-4
6-4.
in the third. Granger West
Maybe the score wrong on the live stream.
take
Yeah, that should be a 0.
really well done. All 4 players grinding it out. You know, the ebb and flow of the changes in momentum. Nobody absolutely, lost their mind and went off the rails.
Yeah.
And huge kudos there to Granger West, for being able to right the ship after that second set, right, which was, not the design that they were going for, and be able to make it happen.
Gentlemen and
Yeah.
a scholar.
No, they,
Fantastic
they
match.
dialed in. Great match. Great
Thank you to the APTA for this one and Cleveland Racket Club. We are going to be back in a few minutes for the women's final here from the Cleveland Masters NRT. And for the men's semis, that is a wrap, and we will see you in a few minutes for the women's final. Stick around.